Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Dragonheir Selling Gods video. In today's video, I want to talk about what you see over here, and that's the insane amount of damage that I managed to push my burn team to do. And it's kind of like, you know, the min-maxing possible. Everything can push to the highest possible thing. And there's one key thing that I changed that boosted my damage by 100 million. So let's get into this one. Now, before I jump into the video, I do want to mention that if you want to support me as a content creator and get some free stuff plus some promo codes from me, use code OddOne that you see over there at the top to support as a content creator. You can find a link in the description of the video, but you can also find the details, I think, in the events tab, but the link is 100% working. That's in the description. Pretty much, you go there, put code OddOne exactly as you see with capital O's. Make sure you do that. And then once you do that, you're going to get some free stuff instantly. And pretty much the way that it works is if you do decide to spend in the game, I get like 2% out of it. I never encourage people to do that, but you know what? If people do want to support me and they spend, I would appreciate it. But look at this insanity team, 814 million, right? No Escatias, no other stuff. You might have gotten used to it by now, but you know, it's the third time I'm doing a video on this, but there's a few key things that I want to talk about, right? There's a few key things. Let me just make sure I store these latest changes because it's kind of important. It's kind of important. But the key things that are going to be for this team, you know, there's quite a few things. First of all, I want to start off with the positioning. So first things first, you want to have this exact positioning. Durham over here, Karf over here, Thorin behind them, then Elminster behind Karf, and then you have yourself Biggs on this side. So you want to make sure that you place them like this. Start with Durham, Karf. You know, let me just do it exactly to show you, because for some reason it's really important to do that, right? So place Durham first, then place Karf, then place Thorin, then you place Elminster, and then last you're gonna be placing yourself Biggs over here. Now I suggest you do this first and then save the team. Then you go ahead and run the team. If you see that the team does not do the right things, as in when the boss summons the minions, they go all over the place, restart it or just remove them. After you save your team, remove them and place them again, because it's gonna straight up take over your preset. Now, what's important about this positioning? Why is it so important? Well, the way that it works for some reason is if you place them in the specific order at a specific time, most of the time during this fight, they should be all spawning in this area, right? You see this square, at least when you do your ultimates. See, when he does the ult, everything is covered because you want them all to be in that 3x3 square so that Biggs can put defense penalty on all of them. That's the most important one. And then obviously everybody else is going to be doing the damage against every single one of these, right? You see that it kind of works perfectly. They always come to the same spot. If you see the one runs to the side for some reason, just place them again and go again. You really want them to all be in this square so that you can do the maximum amount of damage possible, right? That's the first thing. Second thing, you want to make sure that your Thorin has enough skill haste. Doesn't matter what build you do on him, but he has to have enough skill haste so that his ultimate is going to be on an 18-second recharge time, because you always want to have the invisibility cast just before the boss does the ultimate. Not only do you put invisibility on most of your team, but you also put debuff immunity on Durham, which means Durham's not going to be getting that attack down. If he doesn't get the attack down, obviously Durham will be doing a ton more damage. Same thing, make sure you're going to have some accuracy on people like Elminster. I'm going to show you the builds and everything, but those are kind of like the key things, right? The right positioning, the right timings and all of that. And you know what? I actually seen some teams using Dark Lady instead of Elminster. I just honestly could not make it work for some reason. With the Dark Lady, one of them keeps coming to the side, every other ultimate that the boss does. So that's not ideal, right? It's not ideal because if that happens, you're not going to be doing the max amount of damage. One person, one little one missing costs you like a few, like 20, 30, 50 million damage. And you know what? If you're trying to push the limits, you're going to want to do this. Another key thing, right? Another key thing that's really important for this team is going to be the skill timings, right? That's something that I also tweaked. Shout out to CLS Blanca. I tried to look at CLS Blanca's team with Dark Lady and try to copy it. Didn't manage to quite do it, but There's one little thing that Blanca did in that team that I changed, and I think that influenced the damage a little bit as well. And that's going to be the timings specifically when Durham goes, right? You're going to see, if you look, when Durham does the ultimate, as soon as Durham does the ultimate, 2 of the ads disappear. 1, 2, 3. And you see, boom, 2 of them disappear, which means that's a ton of damage that happens because of the right timings. You see, this one actually got 14 million less damage. I'm going to obviously keep running this up until I hit 810 if I can, right? But this damage is insane, 800 million. Now, obviously, I'm doing this crazy amount of damage because I've inspired Durham 5, but apart from that, every other principle is the same, and every little thing is gonna count. Now, let's look at the timings exactly. Everybody's gonna be on 18-second recharge time. Elminster goes at 17 seconds. I do it like this so that after he lands the ultimate, he does have the time to do the battle skill, to put the shield on Durham before he does his ult, so we get that proc from the Fearless Challenge. It's really important. If you do it a bit too close, Elminster might not do it because he has to do all the casting and whatever, so that's important. Then Torren, 17.5 I put, for example. Make sure it's before 18, before the boss does the ult, so you don't get attack penalty on Durham. Then these are the important timings. So 19.5 on Biggs, 19.6 on Karf, and then Durham, 21.3, right? If you do 21.5, it's not going to work because 2 of them will disappear. 21.3 was the exact skill timing that, like I said, CLS Blanca, shout out to Blanca again as well. That's the exact timing that they put on this. The reason why that one's so good is because it allows, right? It allows everybody else to do the maximum amount of burns stacked on all the targets as you can before Durham does the ultimate and before they explode, because the more burns you have, the better damage he's going to do, and he's going to be placing that incineration as well. So that's really, really important. Now, the aura that I use, I just use Elminster's Enlightenment one, so you get bigger shields, because nothing else really helps. But let's go ahead and have the look at the builds. Oh yeah, and obviously use Wave Breaker. Make sure your Durham has the highest attack as the fight progresses, so he gets that Wave Breaker on himself. But let's look at the builds, and I guess we're going to start with the talents. When it comes to talents, I think these ones stack, because after I put all 3 of these, the unbearable heat on Durham, on Karf, and on Biggs, it kind of seems like I did 20-30 million more damage. Not sure if they stack, but you know what? I just put it and it works. So it went like this. For Biggs, then for Karf, I chose this one and then this one, and then Karf this one, and then over here down there. Then Elminster, one thing that's really important for Elminster is this one. You really want him to have the Relentless Pursuit, so that when he lands that attack penalty, the boss is covered for the attack penalty for when he does the battle skill as well. Otherwise, it might fall off before he does the battle skill, so he might kill you a little bit faster. When it comes to Torren, really key one is this one, the Enhanced Protection, to try and give you those shields and boost some more damage, because you're gonna see I have this. I don't know why I changed that one. I don't know why I put this, but I guess for some reason. But anyway, this is the only important one, right? To put some shields, because you're gonna pair that with a Devout Prayer as well. Just trying to have those shields as on your targets as much as possible, so you have the Devout Prayer as much as possible, which means more damage. Now let's start from the bottom. So one other important thing that I noticed is for Biggs and for Karf, you want to focus as much attack as possible. They don't do a ton of damage, but it seems like, for example, Biggs did more damage by having full-on attack than actually having a close to 100% crit rate. That's really important. So he has attack percent glove and strike the unprepared. He's going to be running Emissary's Whisper with, again, as much attack as possible. Make sure you have enough accuracy to land your debuffs, with Witch's Remains, of course, and then pretty much that's about it. Then Torren is going to be in Solar King's Sword. Normally, you try and get yourself Ancestral Protection if you can get to 60 skill haste from other spots, but you know what? The only way that it's really easy to do that is by having him be inspired 3, where he gets 30 more skill haste. Because I only have him inspired 1, I just completed a set of this, of Hope of the Oasis, that gives him more skill haste. And then I focus on him as much enlightenment and HP as possible, and then, like I said, skill haste. So this one is 18 seconds or lower, so he always does the ultimate at the same time. Then the next one, we're gonna have Elminster. He's gonna have, again, Devout Prayer in accuracy. You're gonna see that for him, you wanna have accuracy, you wanna have some enlightenment, but you also wanna make sure you have resist, because you're gonna have Titan Rib on him. Titan Rib is extremely important because every time you resist the boss's attack down, you're gonna get 15% more damage for 10 seconds, which means after boss does the ult, Elemental resists it, you get the damage boost, and obviously then you're gonna have Durham explode stuff, right? Even more damage, and then obviously he's gonna be in the Puppeteer's Inspiration to boost everybody else's ultimate energy. Then apart from that, it's just Enlightenment, Resistance, you're gonna see accuracy with Enlightenment Resist, you know, a little bit of everything. Next one, we're gonna have Karf. Karf is straight up focused full on attack, obviously with some accuracy so that he lands his burns from doing the ultimate and landing those ignites. That's really important. He's gonna be in Brotherhood Spirit again, attack percent. Then I kind of went with this. Funny enough, even though it's not the Strike the Unprepared, because it's one of those legendary plus and it gives us more attack, just went with this one because more attack for him means he's gonna give more attack to Durham. You're gonna see attack percent over here, and then attack percent over here with some crit rate defense, then again attack, and then here I went with accuracy and attack percent. But Dawn Organ Pipe is really important because 10% of his attack is gonna go to all the team, including Durham, which means Durham's gonna get from Karf another 7,600 attack. That's a lot, right? That's a lot. That's gonna be extremely helpful. Then the main event is gonna be Durham. Obviously, I'm not gonna, you know, everybody is fully skilled up in case, you know, in case you didn't think of or didn't realize, yes, everybody is fully skilled up. But for Durham, again, these are his talents, really important. Kind of like this one's really important, and then this one makes him do a ton of damage. But first of all, you want to have the exclusive burn artifact. If you don't have this one, then whatever gives you the most attack percent, most crit damage, that's what you're gonna go with. But if you're gonna push these crazy numbers, you're gonna wanna have this. Then positive rune, we have crit damage with crit rate, attack percent, accuracy. Over here, accuracy with crit damage. You really wanna have some accuracy on him so that when he does the ultimate, he can land the incineration. If you don't have accuracy, he's not gonna land the incineration, which means you're gonna be missing out on a ton of damage. Keep in mind that. Then, when it comes to piece of gear, I do have the crit damage glove in Strike the Unprepared with Penta crit rate, the one that I forged. Tried to temper everything as much as I could. Then this one is actually really important. It's a really good piece to get, the Stone Breaker. Like, for example, I have an attack percent with just, I do have triple crit damage with some accuracy, no crit rate, but that's just fine. The reason why this one's so good is because when the wearer successfully inflicts a debuff, permanently increases the hero's attack by 1.5% up to 20 stacks, which means he's gonna get 30% more attack. This should allow you to be able to make sure that Durham has the highest attack once he procs this a few times so that he gets the Wave Breaker buff from the island thingy on him most of the time. Then, another one's really important, Skyfire Sun Piece. 35% more damage from Blast. That's going to be huge. Again, crit damage, crit rate, it has attack percent as well. Go ahead, it's really important. And then this is the secret. This is the key thing that I don't know why I changed it. I kept seeing other people do other stuff, but I was always a big believer of, you know what, Fearless Challenge is insane. 16% more damage, it should mean a lot. Well, it does. By putting this instead of having a Bloodshade mark on him, I boosted my damage by 100 million. I'm not even lying. 100 million more damage by putting this piece. It did get me closer to 100% crit rate as well, but still, as soon as I put Fearless Challenge, my damage shot from 670 million to 770 million damage. And then I tweaked some other stuff and we got to this point. Let me show you his total stats. So he's gonna have 6.5k attack, 94.8 crit rate, you know, as close to 100% as possible, and then 296 crit damage, again close to 300% crit damage, but this is just fine. And then 183 accuracy. If you had the 50, you get to like 233. You know what, at 233, that's kind of good enough. He does manage to land his incinerations, so that's pretty good. But these are the stats. This is the damage. Again, his Inspired 5 for me is going to ignore defense. He's going to get more crit rate, crit damage, more attack from here, you know, more damage if he's at full HP. So Inspiration are a big thing. It's a big thing. It does change the damage. It does bring a ton more. But even without Inspiration, this is the best that you can possibly do to push your damage as high as possible for a burn team. And you know what? 800 million is a pretty juicy amount of damage. But we're gonna leave it at this for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider liking it, subscribing to the channel to see when I upload next. Also, don't forget to support me using code OddOne as a content creator if you do want to do so, and DM me on Discord so I can give you some promo codes if you support me. Even if you don't, I'm gonna give you some codes. Just DM me on Discord, right? I still have quite a few. But yeah, thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.